What's that noise?
That would be our alarm. Hey, everyone. This is DL Tillery and Aphrodite Lee. So this is our live write-in, getting it written. So we're going to be doing our first question tonight after we do our introductions. Thank you, baby. She cutting on my computer for me. It's still there. Trying to slide it. So after that, I'll let you go ahead and do your introduction, and then I'll roll on.
Oh, excuse me. Hey, everybody. Don't let that yarn fool you. I'm actually not sleepy. Just been working, like, since I got up today, I have been working nonstop. Today, we're doing an hour and a half today, right?
Yeah, we'll be done around 9:30.
Yeah, I'll do all my little sale pitches at the end.
Okay. All right, you guys already know who I am. Author DL Tillery. Never mind my librarian in the background. She's working on something there. All my whatever I got going on at the end. That makes it easier so we can get right into this tonight. So we're going to start right off with one of our questions that we like to do for the people in the chat and for ourselves. So the first question is, what tense is your work in progress or newly released novel, and what made you decide on that tense? I will let Aphrodite go first, and anyone in the comments can go ahead and type that one up.
The book that I have out, the Minx book. Oh, wait a minute. You okay?
Oh.
Okay. He woke up. So let me handle him. I don't want him to fall. I'll be right back.
Oh, no, you go ahead. Grab him. You okay, baby? Okay, so while Aphrodite's doing that, I will answer the question. So the tense in my work in progress is present tense. I decided to do that because I wanted it to be a noun feeling and not to be too detached. So I decided to go with a present tense setting for that. Though I tend to write a lot of times in past tense, but I've been trying to train myself to write in present tense because I'm sure most people prefer present tense unless it's calling for past tense. So that's Chronicles of Cagliostro that I'm speaking of. I am currently editing a short horror story that is also present tense, also first person present tense. So that's new for me, the first person thing. Usually I'm always that third person overseer narrative type of thing. All right, so back to Aphrodite.
Yeah, my current piece is first person present tense as well, but I always write in present tense, or I always have, thus far. I'm not saying that it won't be something coming down the line that'll be different.
Right.
I don't usually do first person. I usually do third person present tense. So it was fun doing this story in first person. Like, you get to hear Pandora saying, what she's going through and what she's thinking and stuff like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, that's cool though.
And you can't head hop, so you can't say what the other person is thinking or feeling.
Of course.
More creative in expressing how, maybe Dr. Okami is feeling this XYZ, but how do you know he's feeling that way? Because you can't just say it. So that was fun to work around and work through.
Yeah, I read it, so yeah. I did like the way it was written.
He fell.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, I tried to catch him when he fell.
Oh.
You okay?
Oh.
He said,
All right, that was our alarm, so we should go ahead and start our first write-in. We will be writing for 15 minutes, and then we will be back. So we'll be back at 8:20 with our first write-in done, and then we will talk for another 5 minutes and then jump right back into another write-in for another 15. All right, I'm going to count us out. 3, 2, 1, and write.
I'm going to silence my mic.
Me too.
You said back in 15?
Yep. Okay, we're back.
Okay. I meant to ask you, what were you working on?
Oh, I was editing my short horror story, called The Room Within.
I was kicking his butt.
I know. I was editing it, so I'm preparing it to be published with Writers Unite, but I have to publish it on my website first, and then they publish it on their blog and so on, so people can get to see it, because they do have a lot of people for their blog. So
right, yeah. Tell me more about that. I thought we were talking about it before.
It's based off a prompt that they gave for everyone to use this month. Last month I did their other prompt, but I wrote a poem instead of doing a short story for the prompt. And I did share that on my website too. Right. This one is more horror based because the prompt is a picture of a room that's like seems like it's very like, I don't know, has a lot of solitude, but not in a very ominous way. Right. It's all green and it has one lonely chair in the room, and you can see a door in the room. So I'm basing it off of a guy named Daniel, who buys homes, and he found this one home that he really liked for himself. So he's purchasing it. He purchases it in the story and he wants to fix it up, because that's what he does. He buys like old rundown homes and he fixes them up and sells them. But this time he found the home that was the kind he's looking for himself. So he purchased it, but the owner seems a bit off, but he doesn't want to see the inside of the home because he's in a rush today that he purchased it, and he figures he's going to have it fixed and gutted and all that stuff anyway if he needs to. He didn't want anything to change his mind. So he purchased it, and then the room that the prompt is based off is in that house.
Okay. So he wanted sight unseen.
Yeah, because it's a buy as is anyway, so he just didn't want anything to change his mind either way. Yeah. So that's what it's about. It's horror, so I'm not sure how comfortable you'll probably be reading it.
I'll read it if you wrote it. I ain't reading all out in the whole world, but it sounds like an interesting place to really flex your muscles. Yeah, it's good. It's good. They do it every month in the Writers Unite, so anybody can join it and do it. Some people do, some people don't. You know. Oh, we got a SD is down in the comments. Sky. Oh, I'm saying hi to her now. Hey. She joined right when we said we were going on a 15-minute write-in. Of course. Yes, I always come in like that. What are you working on? What's wrong? Oh, he too cute. I'm biting. He bad. Don't let the cute fool you. Yeah, you ain't told me no. I say anything about my daughter. Like, oh my gosh, so cute. I'm like, Be all bad like 2 seconds later. You be good though? Are you gonna be good? I think maybe. He actually did. Like, he don't know. He's like, I can't make any promises. What are you talking about? He's not asleep. You see his eyes closed, but he's not asleep. Oh, I see him. I see him. He has the he sees the camera, the light, the blue light in the camera. So he wanna act brand new. Smart boy. Yeah. Mm-hmm. No. I might look into doing some prompty type stuff. I used to do it in other groups. Yeah. It was private in the group, so it didn't go anywhere else. Yeah. So the blog is pretty cool because it gets people to see your work. So they link them to you have to upload it to a blog that you run or your Facebook writers page or your website, and that way that they want to send people to you. Gotcha. It does work really well. I do like it. Yeah, especially now I need people to come to me since they can't search me on Patreon anymore. Oh yeah. I mean, not can't search me, but they can do a search. They won't find me unless they specifically are searching me. We got Dana down there too. Hey, Dana. I got my baby too. I just saw the thing that SD was saying. Yeah. Gotta play with babies today.
Yeah, Dana, I'm gonna have to see if I have anything prepared to do to be on there with you and Aphrodite. So I'm gonna see if I have anything that I could do to read, and I could send something to you to see if that's okay. But I'm trying to get everything together for that. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, if I had like, I was trying to think that maybe I don't have to use a current work. Maybe I can do a work in process and do that. But I always say process. Forgive me, progress.
Yeah.
But yeah, all that stuff's money too. So. I mean, Shattered is probably the best bet you're gonna get with me as far as it not having. I am George R. Martin's little sister. I write details and everything. It has to be graphic. Can't help it. Not gonna try.
Dana, I will message you about something I have that I could read. I don't know what the amount is, like a chapter, or does it have to be a chapter, or just a little blurb or synopsis. I don't know what's the requirement for it, but you can let me know, I suppose, when you have time. Because I'm gonna try to get something together so I can hang on there with you guys.
Want to say hi to Dana and SD? No.
Nope.
You don't think my baby is shy. He is not.
He's a little faker right now.
He is so phony right now. Not gonna say hi at all.
Oh.
No. Okay.
Too cute. SD said I'm helping my kiddos on do Valentine's for a class. I need to finish my urban fantasy that should have been finished at the end of January. I feel you, SD, because I should have been done editing or revising Chronicles of Cagliostro and editing it by the end of January. But alas, I am not done, so I still have to finish that. So not much to do about that. And she said, "You can call me Sky." Yeah, I know. I was just trying to give you by your name so people know who the heck I'm talking about in there, but they can see the S.
Okay.
Figure it out.
Oh, I love your name.
I always like to call you Sky.
I love that name. My little goddaughter's name is Sky. And she gets mad because I'll say Skylar, because her name is Sky, not Skylar. And she's like, "That's not my name."
Let me mess with That is too funny.
Well, I wrote my book, Encounters, comes out Thursday on Valentine's Day.
Yes, it does.
I'm looking forward to seeing like how that goes, like as far as what happens after your book comes out, kind of thing. Because
it's a wild ride out here for watching. I watch Jenna Marissi stuff, so I heard that it's a wild ride. And Sky said her goal was to write a book a month. They're short 50K novels. Girl, that's not no short novel. Don't even try to no. That's just not sci-fi size novels with 100,000 crazy George R. Martin kind of novels.
That's 50K
short story, girl. It's not.
Yeah, 50K is it just slipped over the edge of novella. Novella's 40K. And it's the edge of normal fiction at 60K. So 50 can be whatever it wants to be, but it ain't short.
So also people used to call her Skylar too. She ain't like that either.
I know that apparently the Skylar, if you're a Sky, you don't like Skylar.
You can share as much as you want. It was little, but I will send you a message. Thank you. So I can know what I'm doing, so I can prepare. I got plenty of stuff I've written, but
I didn't get that same message from Dana. Dana sent me chapter 1 only.
You probably knew that was gonna be some stuff.
Chapter 1 is pretty much the only thing that's safe to read out loud. It really is. She is.
I may do when Fireflies Mingle. Maybe I'll do the synopsis for that, or the blurb on the back, or something like that. Maybe I could do that one because that's one of my ones that's going to come out after Chronicles of Cagliostro. So I can probably do that. Plus, I have the cover art for that one and everything. And the second book is already ready to go, getting ready to go too. So I could probably do that series because I can introduce that series because that's going to be one of my top romance, paranormal romance series. So
right, and that's a series. So yeah, you got a lot to work with.
Yes, I probably should do that. All right, next question on our plans here. What kind of world is your work in progress based in? Give an example. People in the comments, you guys can answer that. Just type up the answer in the comments, and I will, or Aphrodite, and I will read them. So you want to go first? Or you want me to go take this one?
I'll go because mine is real short. For Shattered, Shattered is in the current the world that's going on right now. It has no paranormal or supernatural elements to it. So, and it's current. It's like present day. As a matter of fact, that's how it's listed as a present day telling. For Encounters, which is coming out under my Minx name, that's it's jumbled because it has a lot of paranormal, and then it'll have some old world, and the current world is all blended because she's going through a whole bunch of crap in different realms, for lack of a better term. So she may enter a place where it's back in the 1900s, or 1900s, like in the 1800s, or she'll be in the future with some weird shit. You just don't know.
Cool. Yeah, so Thrones of Cagliostro is in present day, but it has a veiled world within the world. So
I like that.
In my book, it has where the veil in my book is another world that the supernatural people live on that side, though they can cross into our world at any point they wish, but like the living from our world cannot pass into their world, but they can go, because they're supernatural, they can pass into that side. So Cagliostro actually resides on that side of the veil, and you'll find that out very, very early in the book, at the very beginning. And that plays a very big part in the story as to why people don't know that vampires and falling angels and werewolves and any other paranormal or supernatural beings, I should say, exist, because they live on the other side of the veil in my world anyway. So it's present day, but with a twist to it. So, yep.
Yeah, I like when stuff are like that.
Yeah.
I have a couple like that.
And I did not come up with that little tidbit until the revision. So that's pretty funny. But I figured out because it was a loophole in one of my plots. That's what made me come up with that. Yeah. So I filled that hole. And that's where that came from. It was a hole in one of Allison's subplots, who's the main female lead with Cagliostro, because there's technically two main characters in my book, but her subplot had a hole in it, so I filled it with that. That helped explain it, and you'll find that out in the book. So
at least you did it. At least you didn't find the big ass hole when you were done.
Yeah, well, I finished the book, but I never filled that subplot hole. I knew it was a hole there, and when I did the revision, because I came up with another outcome why certain things happen, so I'm revising some things
right
before I do my full edit, and that was one of the things that I needed to fix. So it turned out pretty well, and actually made the story a little bit better in my opinion. And I see that Sky said I'm writing modern day with supernatural monsters. It's been fun to write. Those usually are. So
they are, yeah.
I like that.
I have my paranormals like live alongside of humans, and when the paranormals are very much aware of the humans, but the humans are not aware of them. Yeah. You know, they think they just have regular neighbors and what have you, and that's how they want it. Because in my book, there was a time when humans were aware, but they proved to be dangerous with their knowledge of knowing, like, oh my God, I'm living next door to a lichen, and that's when all the rumors and lies start coming up. Oh, they do this at night, and they it's the same thing. You know how you went through the Christian crusades when they wanted to get rid of the pagans.
Yeah.
Like, oh, let's make up all this stuff that they do, and then we can justify killing them.
Of course, there's always the lies involved, but that's a good way to put it.
Right. So that's why the I'll just call them paranormals for lack of a better term because I don't want to give too much away. But
Yeah.
the paranormals in the story, that's why they don't study humans. They're like, whatever, keep them in the dark. That's the best way for them
Yep.
to be. So when they're filling out, one of my favorite lines is when Bianca, who is the lead in the series, and she's saying, well, there's 6 billion humans, 7 billion humans on the planet, and then her other friend Dow, he laughs. He was like, it's only like it's not even a billion of y'all left. It's like a lot of those census forms that is being filled out by my people.
That's right.
They don't have a thing on the census form that says what is your species,
And they don't.
because it just automatically assumes you're human. And
That
so,
census is full of crap anyway, to be honest. And people can answer it any damn way they want to, and they will never be the wiser.
exactly.
They
And
do it
so
all the time. They were
it's
saying
funny.
like how America is, people fill out the censor what race they are, and then they will just pick, like, if let's say we know a lot of majority of America is mixed, but they pick one side or the other, or if they got, let's say there are like 5 different races like me, they'll pick the majority that they feel more identified with.
Right.
And they'll just pick that instead of putting that they are mixed or other, whatever they have on there now. And they'll be like, okay, well, this percentage of the country is this, and this percentage of the country is that. And you'll be like, that's not even close to being right, because majority of the country is mixed, because after all, we were a mixing pot to begin with of people coming from all over the place.
Especially in the United States.
People rub nasties together and they made mixed people. So that's what happens. That's what we are, man.
That's how the planet is. And that's
except for China. They not playing. They 4 billion. They don't play that. I'm just saying. They most of the population of the world, and then you got Indian people, and then you have Africans, and then you have the other races that are less than them. So I guess I'm just saying.
I love the fact that the planet is just full of flavors.
It is.
And the United States need to shut up sometimes, and I don't care who heard that, because the United States is the one place where everybody is mixed.
They are. No matter what you say, you
okay,
are.
How far back you go? Oh, I know this, that, and the third. Well, I'm sorry, you weren't there. Trust me, somebody done did something and did some other things.
And somebody done broke somebody.
right. So I ain't trying to hear.
But yeah, I get that why you do it that way. It makes sense. So I like that layout.
Oh, but she's coming into a lot of knowledge, and that's the part that I like. It's like all the things that she thought to be true, she finds out are not.
Right. That freaks you out anyway as a person. You like find all this stuff out that you didn't think were real. It was real, and it was like, oh my god, what? I wouldn't really complain if Lestat was real. I'm just saying.
When Dow, one of my favorite scenes is when Dow was just crazy in general, and he walked past a mirror and she could see him because he's Nosferatu.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I thought vampire, and then she cut herself off because she's not allowed to say vampire because he told her don't call him that. And now I thought Nosferatu didn't have a reflection, so he's standing there looking like what? And he said, and then the kid that's a ghost in the story, he's like this historian, and he goes, oh, humans are under the impression that Nosferatu don't have a reflection, blah blah blah. And so she's like, wait. And so he's standing in the mirror like, look how cute he is. And she's like, hold up. So what about the sun? And he's like, what about it? And she said, well, don't you die if you go out in the sun? And he turns and looks at the ghost kid again. And the ghost kid is like, Nosferatu will believe that if they go out in the sun, they immediately die, whatever. And he was like, well, fuck, there goes my Bahamas trip. And she's like, what about a stake to the heart? What will that kill you? He's like, hell yeah, it'll kill me. Who wouldn't that kill? And so
that's an awesome line. I remember when I read that. That is awesome.
But who wouldn't that kill?
So it's so right though. Like, really? You impale me.
You impale my heart. I'm gonna kill me.
What?
I'm gonna die.
A vampire? What are you talking about? Like, through somebody's heart, really? Though.
So she gets to learn. She learned a lot of stuff while she's going through, especially having to deal with those things that mer creatures.
Yeah.
Yeah, she learned.
I know you don't like that
life on that one. But
Oh my
that's
God.
crazy because like I get scared as I write that because any kind of creature that's aquatic bugs me, as you know.
Yes, I'm
So
aware.
I'm shaking as I'm typing, writing those scenes because I'm terrified. Like, oh my gosh, she get ready. It's over with.
I
And
don't know how you gonna read my romance horror with the mermaids
I
and
don't know.
stuff. How you gonna read that? There's all kinds of other creatures gonna show up in that once they
Right,
get in the
probably
water
paragraph
line.
at a time.
You read a
Probably
little bit at a
paragraph
time,
at
a
a
little
time.
bit.
Cause I
That's
mean, you
hilarious.
combine the shit I'm scared of the most. The only thing missing was, and I don't even know yet, is like the dark. Like, cause I don't play, I don't stay and live, sleep, nothing in the dark. I don't do mer creatures, aquatic creatures. And
That's awesome. Too
you like,
funny.
you like
All
aquatic
right, well,
creatures?
we're gonna start our next write-in at
Mhm.
8:45. That will take us to 9 o'clock for returning. And then we will come back for our last question, and then we will pop back into our last writing, which will be another 15 minutes, which will bring us closer to the 9:30 mark, and we'll talk out the rest of the time, and we'll do our closeouts, and you guys find out all the stuff that we're up to and all that jazz. So
We fell asleep for real. See how you pay
oh,
you fell asleep. That's what you get.
you see my little crazy one back there.
I saw a head bob by. There
There
she
she
is.
is back there.
There she is. May. Look, come on, look, Fiona.
So what? I don't see nothing. He's too cute. I'm gonna buy him.
I just bet him.
Oh, good. You bid him for me then. Thank you.
He looks so much like my son. It's scary.
I know. He's too cute.
Come
He's
on,
such
my
a
boobs, man.
cutie.
You gonna pull my hair off, man.
Yeah.
All right. So let me actually go to the other one. So I'm gonna do my mic. I'm gonna try to get through this. I gotta get through the end of this book today.
I know. Well, we still got this right in one more, so 30 minutes worth
You
still to
know, my
go.
boob. Thank you.
Mhm.
Special. All right then. Let me know when you're ready. I'm gonna mute my mic.
All right. I'll count it down. You'll see me do this, you know. All right, everyone. When you guys are ready to go, if you're going to do a write in with us. Sky, you had something else you typed. I missed that. You said I call my supernaturals and my main character is one, but she just thought she was a freak of nature who can see and speak to ghosts. She's learning the supernatural world is so much bigger than she thought. That's cool. That sounds really interesting. I'd love to read that. I can't wait for that. All right, everyone. The writing is starting. I'm gonna count down. 3, 2. Well, count it up. I'm gonna count it up. Down. 3, 2, 1, and write.
Living it.
Okay. We're all done for now.
I almost made it to the end of chapter 7, so.
Oh my god, my kid, so I didn't get a chance to really edit much. But I have a kid, so
Yeah.
hopefully I'll get to finish the short story edit by the time when we get to the next writing. Blah. We had someone else join while we were doing the writing. I answered his questions. I don't know if it's a guy or a woman because the name doesn't give anything away. So whether he or she, I answered their question. And Dana said I sent out 6 messages. Good job. Good job.
I got an alert that she sent me something.
Yeah. So yeah, I answered that person's questions. If you look in the comments, you can see
I'm getting ready to go look.
Answered. So they asked them pretty extensively because they were asking about like how when you started, how did you get people to read your stuff, and how many people was writing. And I told them we're all writers here, and we were in the writing, and when we would come out. And then I was talking about what I did when I first started, because I was published when I was 19 with my poetry, because I'm a poet too. And it's back when poetry.com was a thing, even though people were like, well, they were a scam. It seemed like you had to pay money, but you really did not. If they did pick your poetry to be in the book by chance, then they did actually put it in the book, but they did sell the books, and you had to buy a copy or copies if you wanted to have a copy of your book. Funny thing was, I never had the money when I was younger to get a copy of the book. So it was funny, like years later, I saw one of the poetry.com books in a store and my poem was in it. So they were not fake. They just couldn't handle what they were running. So they end up going out, I think, probably when I was in my late 20s or something. But I did do that a lot. And then I started publishing my own stuff and selling it by hand. Like I printed it and sold it. Then I would do and then I would print it and put it in picture frames because it was poetry. So, and then I would sell it that way too. And I would go to festivals and things of that nature.
Right.
And then as I got older and I had my own website, I just started publishing stuff online. Back when MySpace was a thing, I did it there too.
I love MySpace.
I know. But yeah, I told them there's nothing that, you can't do yourself. You can put yourself out there. It's got a lot to do a lot of times with believing in yourself. And I had a lot of problems with that, especially when it came down to my stories, not so much my poetry. I had very much heavy confidence in my poetry, but it was my stories that I had an issue with believing in myself. But I'm well past that. I mean, being in my mid-30s, I guess I should finally have gotten past that.
Well, one of those things that they used to do with those books that did poetries and short stories, and there was some that did photography. The reason why they asked for people to pay is because that covered the cost for them to get done.
Oh, of course. I mean, it was hard.
Like, there were some that weren't legit. Of course, you always gonna find people.
People thought that poetry.com, they had a lot of issues, of course, but they still did actually print the books when they could get them out. So they were not fake. So our next question is, how do you world build? We'll try to cut this one as short as possible. How do you world build? How does your process work for that aspect of writing? So anyone in the comments who wants to give that question a go are welcome to do so. We will read your answers. When I do my world building, and if you look at any of my writing process videos, I talk a little bit about world building. It depends on what story I'm writing, how I world build. But if it's something like my work in progress, that's based in our world. So the world building isn't as complex as some of my stories could be. So in the case of my book, I do make sure that if it's an area that exists in reality, then I will definitely research that area when I do the world building. I started my world building from after I do my character bios and my main plot and stuff like that. Then I do my world building from my characters' backgrounds. That actually helps me build my world, what kind of world I want them set in, because of the type of people that they are basically to be. Of course, they grow into different people as you write, but the baseline of my characters are always planned out when I do my character bio. So that's how I start my world building. And usually, like, I don't know which step it would be, maybe my fifth or sixth step in my writing process, because I do the steps before outlining, and that's in my steps before outlining, because I should already have my world built to me before I do my actual outline. But that's what I do. Anyway, I'll let Aphrodite go ahead and tackle that one now.
I with Shattered, it was okay.
Got his glasses on, it's cute.
He's a mess. With Shattered, when I created the world, that whole world was after I kind of made up the names for the different places and stuff, because they're all fake, they don't exist.
Yeah.
And then the school and all of this stuff. Then I had the easiest way for me to build that world, because since it is present day, it was all I had to do was come up with rules for the school itself that dictated how the world went. So whatever they had to whatever the people have to comply with, that's the adults and the children, was how I was able to put that together. The way it manifested, believe it or not, I didn't create like the Halstead campus and world beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
What I did is I created the situation that the lead character was going to be in,
mm-hmm.
which was she's going to a new school. She's going to be at the school and go through the normal things that the new kid coming in has to go through.
Yeah.
But have a twist to it because of a crazy person that's there who's out to get her. Cool. So once I determined that that's what the story was going to be about, Mama. And then it branched out. Come on. Mama. She'll be back. Then it branched out from there. So the complete world wasn't completely done mm-hmm. until I actually finished the book, because it was stuff that came up that I had to ultimately incorporate.
Of course.
No, you cannot. I already told you. Well, that doesn't work on me. So if I already said no, I'll just no. So for that one,
look, you guys' little hand up. He's stressed.
It was easy and it was hard because, for the simple fact that it was 100% made up. It doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it had to be 100% made up with no fantastical elements.
Right, I get that.
Other stuff that I make up, that's more complex world building, but at the same time it's easier because I define the rules of that world. If it's paranormal, it's what the hell I say.
Exactly, because that's how I feel about my When Fireflies Mingle and it's my Forbidden Love series.
Mm-hmm.
And When Fireflies Mingle is completely world built. Good night, Dana.
Good night.
It's completely world built, so that's like easy because it's the two characters in it. The main male lead, he is from the Fae world and my Fae world, and then the female lead, she is from a humanoid style world, so they look similar to us, but it is not our world. So
how do your Fae look? Do your Fae look humanoid?
Yeah, my Fae do look humanoid. Besides, they have slight pointy ears a little bit, and they are very technologically inclined. So the males and the people in the world, they all dress like business people style thing. So you'll see the men all wearing suits and stuff like that, and they wear relaxed clothing. So they're similar to that. And in the humanoid world that the male-female lead is from is similar to that, very technologically inclined as well. But they have more of a, how should I say, still like a business style dress, so very sophisticated. So it's similar. Their worlds are similar, except for the Fae world is magic based, and theirs is more just technologically based, and not magic and technology like the lanterns or something like that. The Fae would be similar to them. So
yeah, my Fae are jerks. I mean,
I got no story too.
the thing with them is that they know that they are the reason the planet even thrives. They take care of
Mhm.
everything on the planet. So because of that, like they have like their head people who has like a seat on council.
Yeah.
That person doesn't even always show up because it's like I'm still gonna do what the hell I want to do. So
That's
yeah,
right.
if you make me mad, then it's just gonna be you're gonna live through a year of winter because that's what we're gonna do.
That's hilarious.
Right.
All
Oh,
right.
I love them. They are a mess.
We are at 9:10, so we should start our last write-ins. We should be back around 9:25, which we can talk out the last few minutes, and we're going to end the wrap up around 9:30. So we're still on schedule, but we got 3 write-ins, and yay us. I'm going to count us down. This time I remember to put my fingers up before I count down. 3, 2, 1, and right.
I gotta do this with one hand again. Yeah, because of you.
Oh. Okay, and we're back, everyone.
Hello.
Oh, how'd you do? I know you got little Salome there.
I had to stop because it was at a scene that was a little too juicy to play out loud. Karma? No. No, because he fighting with me over a damn game. No, because you just said I don't want to play the game until
That's hilarious.
all right, you can do another one, but we're not playing the game no more, okay? I played a game.
Oh my.
I know that but we already did that one, and you said you didn't like that one. That was different. This one. What one? Tell me, pick it. That. If you pick that cat, we're not doing that cat. That. All right, go ahead. I'll do that. Anyway, I'm sorry. He had a little meltdown because he was like, "Where's Daddy? Where's Daddy?"
Oh.
And so I did get some done, but I didn't get it finished because I didn't want him to hear some of the words.
Yeah, I know. So you gotta read back. Let it read out loud.
Right.
I get you.
And since I'm letting it read out loud, but I'm following it word for word too. I'm not depending on my ears.
Yeah.
Because obviously, I heard some stuff that I thought I heard, but I didn't. And how far did you get?
Almost near the end. I'm actually in the dreaded room now, editing that part, but I got distracted a little bit too. So I let the little munchkin back in here before she's wrecking all my books. So there's that.
Well, you know she has to reorganize the books.
Yeah, while tearing my freaking hardback paper cover. So yeah, that makes me so happy.
I know. He's so funny. Did it? You saw it? It went away. I did it.
I don't know if anybody else was joining us in on the right end on that last one, but if you guys were, then you can post what work counts you did or what you were working on during that right end sprint if you were joining in that is. If not, that's fine. All our questions already, so we're gonna wrap up here soon. If no one has anything to add in the comments, we'll give you guys a minute just in case you have numbers or something for your word counts. But yeah,
stop doing that.
We will be live on Aphrodite's channel, so she will be hosting,
and he will not be here.
They already know. You don't leave the Master Dictionary alone, children.
Oh, you know what? That gives me a good idea for questions for next week.
Okay, cool.
Master Dictionary. Yep. So what was the last question?
Oh, we did that.
We did 3 questions?
We did.
Oh, well, damn. I must have been on my game this week because I didn't even remember. I'm so tired. I can't wait until this book come out.
I know.
I can't wait. I'm so excited. So for everybody that's watching who may not be aware, I have a book that's launching on February the 14th, Valentine's Day. And I purposely set it for Valentine's Day because of the nature of the stories in the book.
Yeah, and the link is below to go pre-order that.
Yeah, I hope everybody gets it and enjoys it. It was fun to do. It was I challenged myself to write it. And I honestly, when I say challenge, I honestly challenged myself because I wasn't sure I was going to be able to do it. And I'm really proud that I got it done and that it morphed into a better story than I thought it was going to be originally. So I'm really proud. I'm going to put it back. Okay.
Esty said she was able to get 7 words.
7?
Hey, every little bit count.
I was ready to say that's 7 more than you had before.
Exactly. So you ain't gonna get nothing out of me but laugh. Some days I got 0 because I did not even get a chance to pull up my iPad and write. So nope.
Sometimes I would get everything that I would get done that day, and then I move on to go on to do other stuff. Then I end up everything that was on that day wound up being useless. So
sure,
you might have got 500 words that aren't even gonna make it into the story because the story changed. I'll give you my one of my best examples. For Shattered. Originally Shattered. Everything that happens in Shattered happens with the exception of she didn't board at the school. She went home every day. And when I went and got a cover artist and started working on the book and I was giving her the concept of the school, in her brain, she saw a boarding school, I guess. So when she did the cover, she did the whole old world, boarding school thing. And I was like, it's not a boarding school. But because she did that, I had to change. I didn't have to. It was a good idea. I said, that's a good idea. So I had to change anything that had to do with her going home, dealing with her mom, dealing with her sister. All that changed because she didn't have to go back and forth to the campus anymore. So every chapter that is affected.
Oh man.
Yeah, so yeah, I don't know if I ever showed you the original writings and stuff on it.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think.
Actually, I don't. You know what? I know I didn't because those are like stuff I typed out. But yeah, she used to have to go home every day. Her sister used to pick her up because her mom wouldn't let her have the car because none of that changed.
Yeah.
And she would either get dropped off at her mother's or dropped off at her sister's. And then like when she did the overnight stuff, like when her and Darva hang out in the dorm room, that happened at her home.
Oh.
So all that stuff still happened. I just put it back on campus.
Okay.
Don't you order, boy? You better not order nothing.
They always trying to order stuff.
Okay, go ahead. It's free, girl. They a mess. They know this stuff better than we do.
They do. I already know. My daughter ordered a Mickey book because she saw the picture on it. She ordered on Amazon. It was an ebook, so I could return it. She read it and I returned it.
Girl. No, I'm not girl. You're girl. Girl.
Mimicking is fine. All right, so we're gonna wrap up here, everyone. I will let Aphrodite go ahead first and do her.
Wait a minute. As soon as we finish, okay? We gotta finish this and then we'll do it. I'm sorry. What was the last thing you said?
I'm gonna let you go ahead and do your wrap up, your introduction. What do you, well, not introduction.
My outro.
And see what you want to say, what you're up to, what you got coming, so everyone can know what's going on.
Right now, I'm so excited to be able to tell everybody that Shattered is finally back on schedule, so to speak. The book is done. Is going through a last proofing. I have a proofing contest, and I'm trying to beat my betas, which I know I'm not going to beat them, but I'm trying to see who can find the most errors in it. While my book is being the cover art and all this stuff is being worked out and all the metadata that I have to do for it, all that's getting done so that it can still release in my birthday week in April. I can't even explain to you how excited I am about that. And the book, the Encounters, the 7 Erotic Sins, is already up for pre-sale, but it will come out on Valentine's Day, which I already told you. And that's been a joy to put together. It's so far removed from the other story, so it was fun to do. So please go out there, look them up, and stay tuned for Shattered.
Yep, links are below to pre-order Encounters if you guys want to check that out. If you're into erotica, then you should check that out. I've read it, I betaed it. It is very, very good and steamy. So if you are into erotica, then you're in for a steamy treat. I'm just saying.
Also, I'm sorry, just a big disclaimer: if you're not 18, don't order that book.
That's right.
Like I mean 18. I might want to change it. Oh Lord, my son. I might want to change it to like 30. But no, you can't be 18. We in the room, Jeremy. So what's going on with you?
Well, I have
You're not asleep.
I have the short story I'm working on, The Room Within, which will be published sometime this month on the Writers Unite blog and on my website. Then I will, if you're on my Patreon, if you're a patron of mine on Patreon, then you get my monthly poetry on there, and of course little snippets of my work in progress, which is Chronicles of Cagliostro. I am currently revising Chronicles of Cagliostro, trying to finish that up so I can do the edit, and then because it goes to my editor the first week of April, so I really have to push to finish that. I will be doing a live, I guess that's a live stream with Dana. She is in the comments. Dana, author Dana. I don't know how to say Dana's last name, but I want to say it right.
I know. I'm not sure how to say it either.
Gulen. I want to say Gaulin. I'll be on her channel on the 16th.
Go, Daddy.
For a live stream, and I will be reading the blurb for one of my other novels, which is When Fireflies Mingle. That one is a favorite world. It's from my series. That's the Forbidden Love series, and that's a series that always has two lead characters that will be different than the previous ones. So it's paranormal romance. So the first book is based to the Fae.
I can't wait to read that
world, and then the second book has shifters in that one. So that one I already have the cover off for, really happy about, and then I'll work on third one. So that's already like up into number 3. I'm going to be reading a little bit about that on her channel. So that's all I have going on for right now. As you guys know, this is my channel, and I also do videos on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I do this writing with Aphrodite Lee on Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. It's flip-flops on each channel. Like this week is on my channel, on Aphrodite Lee's channel, and then vice versa every other week. I was thinking about possibly starting another live writing on Sunday. Maybe catch some more other writers who don't have the same schedule. I'm still playing with that idea. But my Monday videos are my book of the week, and then I have Wednesday as my update videos and my writing process, and Fridays are tag videos, which is fun talk videos, or I may even do a book review. Like I just released a book review for Encounters for author Aphrodite Lee, as I reviewed that one. So check out that review if you haven't seen it yet, so you can get it pre-ordered because it's very, very good. So that's all I got going on. Thanks everybody for joining us.
Thanks everybody.
Good night, everyone.
My baby's crying because he got to go.
Writing with us. We had fun. Did get some work done. So, all righty. Good night, everyone. Bye.
Bye, everybody.